Good morning, students. In the last video, I asked you a question that why forests are important for human beings. And I told you to write down at least 5 points how they are useful to us or how they are important. So let's discuss. We all know that forests are renewable resources. Renewable means they can be used again and again as they grow on their own, and they play a major role in enhancing the quality of environment. We all know they keep a balance in the environment. Our oxygen and carbon dioxide levels, they are in the equal proportionate. They are balanced because of these forests. They modify local climate. If you have observed, when you go through a place where there are large number of trees, or maybe nearby there is a forest, you will see automatically the climate is cool. They control soil erosion. The roots of the trees, they hold the soil, so there will be control on the soil erosion. Regulate the stream flow. In childhood, we have studied that there is a water cycle, and we draw even the tree also. So, because of this, there is a water cycle, and the rivers flow throughout the year if there is rainfall. If there are no trees, there will be no rainfall. So, they support a variety of industries. So many trees, they become the we can say that they become the raw material for several industries. They provide livelihood for many communities. Many the tribal communities, they live in these forests and they work here. They are completely, their entire life is dependent upon the forests. They offer panoramic or scenic view for recreation. People go to these places where there are forests, where there are large number of trees, for spending time, for spending their leisure time or free time. So they become a tourist spots or a tourist places. Trees, they control wind force. When we talk about a desert area, there we know that due to the excess amount of the wind over there, sand dunes are formed, but they can be controlled if there are shelter belts in the form of the trees. If these trees are grown there on all the sides of that area where there is loose sand, that can control this wind force. Then it controls the temperature and also cause rains. That you have studied already in your science, where you study about complete in the lower classes, where we studied, as I told you, complete how the rain falls, what is the relation between the precipitation, and what is the how the rivers are formed. All that, there is a complete cycle over there. And where there is a picture, and there you will see the trees are there, and that's how they control even these soil erosion. They cause or they give us the rainfall. They also reduce the temperature or lower the temperature. Wherever the trees are there, you will see that the temperature is low, and they add humus to the soil. We all know how much important humus is for the soil. So these trees, their leaves, when they fall down, they mix with the soil, and after some years they form into humus. And then we have these forests are also home or shelter to a large amount of wildlife. So these are the importance of our forests for us, for the human beings, or how we use them also. But in most of the places we see in our country also, now there is no more natural vegetation. Human beings have destroyed them. Human beings have cut these forests. They have deforested them for their uses, for several factors. For example, the growing demand for cultivated land, because now the population is more, we need more amount of land for cultivation, so people have deforested the natural forest and they are growing crops. Other than this, for the development of industries, to set up the industries, for the mining purposes, lot of trees are deforested. For building up of the dams, lot of deforestation takes place. For urbanization, for building up of several types of residential buildings, and then overgrazing of pastures. Overgrazing done by the cattle has reduced even the grasslands. The natural grasslands also are now very much reduced because of this overgrazing. In urban cities, for example, if you see in Delhi itself, when the metros were built, so much of deforestation took place. So now we see that there is hardly few places where we see the natural vegetation. Otherwise, we don't see natural vegetation in our country. Now, which are the few areas where we even see now some of the natural vegetation? Though these are those areas where human beings are not able to reach. So I am repeating, these are those regions where human beings are not able to reach. So they are in such a remote areas where the human beings cannot reach. So in such places, you will see that natural vegetation has remained same without disturbance of the human beings. But in all other regions, we see that they have been disturbed. For example, there are some regions like Himalayas, some of the regions in the Himalayas which are inaccessible for the human beings, they are remained without disturbed by the human being. So they are natural. In the same way, there are some region in the central part of India which are hilly regions of central India, where you will see very thick forests. Again, they are so thick that the human beings are not able to disturb them, because hardly the sunlight reaches over there onto the earth, because there is a thick forest cover over there. And then we have a region called as the Marusthali. It's a Hindi term. Marusthali, it's a Sanskrit term. It means land of the dead. That is the sand dune covered eastern portion of the great Indian desert in western Rajasthan state or in the northwestern India. Such region is called as the Marusthali region, where we see some amount of cactus, etc. So even this region is undisturbed by the human beings, because these are the regions which human beings cannot reach. They are inaccessible regions. Other than these regions, most of the areas in our country, they have been modified or they have been degraded by the human occupancy. So there are two questions over there in the activity part, which these two questions are based on the data which I'll show you just now, the bar diagrams which I'll show you in the next page. The questions are: name the state having maximum area under forest cover. So a state where you will see the maximum forest cover? So that is first question. And then you have the next question, name the union territory having minimum area under forest cover and why. So I'll show you the graph. You can even see the graph, and again in the next class I'll discuss the answers. So you see this graph. This is the latest graph again. Those who do not have this latest graph, you can save this pic. You can click a pic and save it. So you can see this graph and answer these two questions. It's very easy. The state where the largest area is under the forest cover, and one union territory where the lowest amount of the area is under the forest cover. Union territory, not the state. So mark these two answers. In the next class, we will discuss both the answers. They are very simple, so that's why I am giving you as a homework after seeing the graph. So now let's come to the next part of the chapter, which is types of vegetation. In our country, there are varieties of forests. So all these forests are categorized into 5 types, or we call them as major 5 types of vegetations of our country. They are tropical evergreen forests, tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forests and scrubs, montane forests, and mangrove forests. Let us discuss one by one. First one is tropical evergreen forests. Even you can see here on the right hand side, picture is given of the tropical evergreen forest. What do you see here, children? The forest is thick and it looks green. Now let us discuss why it looks green. Why is this forest so thick? First of all, these forests are found in the regions of heavy rainfall. They are found in the regions of heavy rainfall. For example, the rainfall in these regions is more than 200 centimeters. In that regions, you will find these forests. Now, which are those regions where the rainfall is heavy? We have the regions which I'll show you in the map work also. We have the regions of Western Ghats where the rainfall is heavy. We have island groups, that is both Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar island groups. We have upper parts of Assam and the coast of Tamil Nadu where it receives the rainfall more than 200 centimeters. In such areas, you will see these tropical evergreen forests. The trees here are very tall. They reach up to a height of 60 meters, sometimes more than that. These forests are found in the regions where it is warm and wet throughout the year. That means throughout the year there will be rainfall and it is warm. There is no cool climate over here. So it is warm and wet. You will see a large variety of trees, and the height of the trees is above 60 meters, and it is thick forest. You will find all kinds of vegetation here. You will find trees also, shrubs also, creepers also, which are in the multi-layered structure. You can see in the picture also creepers which climb. So such kind of trees are you will find. Creepers, even they crawl on the ground, they multi-layered structure, they will climb up naturally. So that kind of trees also you will see here. Now there is a question here that why are they called as evergreen forest? That means they look green all throughout the year. So that means they don't shed the leaves. No children, it is not that. All the trees shed their leaves once, one or the other time. But these forests, you will see that all the trees do not shed the leaves at the same time. They have different times when they shed the leaves. So, almost the whole forest looks green because it's only few trees which shed the leaves at one time. So that's why they look green all throughout the year. So it's given here, there is no definite time for the trees to shed their leaves. For example, if there are 100 trees, out of that 10 will shed their leaves at one time. So the 90 trees will be green. So that's why the whole forest looks green. So as such, these forests appear green all year round. So that's about your tropical green forest. We have examples of the trees also. We find trees like ebony, mahogany, such kind of trees you find here, which I'll show you. Here you have a map. Then just below the map you will find the further explanation of this. I'll show you map later. So you have the trees like ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, cinchona. Such kind of trees. These are the examples of the trees which are found in these forests. Now the animals which are found in these forests, we have common animals. They are elephant, monkey, lemur, deer, one-horned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam, where we have the thick forest. The jungles of Assam and West Bengal, where we have thick forest, we find one-horned rhinoceros. Other than these animals, we find lots of birds, bats, scorpions, snails, etc., which are found in these jungles. So let us first of all see where these forests are located in this map. This is the map here, children. You will see here. Now, where you see the thick green color, you will see the thick green color. Those forests are the tropical evergreen forests. There are two green colors. One is the very thick green color, which is, for example, here you will see on the western coastal area. Other than that, in Tamil Nadu coastal area, which we have discussed, tropical evergreen forest. Other than that, some parts of the West Bengal here you can see. Then we have here you can see the Assam, all these areas, Assam, Meghalaya, here we have the Meghalaya, Assam. So all these eastern states, including the Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, all these states we see very thick forest which are the tropical evergreen forest. It also includes islands which we studied, that is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands here, and then we have the Lakshadweep Islands here. So here also we find these evergreen, tropical evergreen forests. So I am just repeating tropical evergreen forest very quickly. Tropical evergreen forests are found in the regions where the rainfall is more than 200 centimeters. Examples of the regions are Western Ghats, the coastal region of Tamil Nadu, islands of Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar, and parts of Assam and the eastern states, except the Arunachal Pradesh. We see these kind of the forest. And here we see luxuriant growth of the trees, shrubs, and the creepers and we also have the trees here like ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, cinchona. These forests are called as the evergreen forest because they do not have a particular time to shed their leaves. So they almost look evergreen throughout the year. We find the common animals like monkey, lemur, but a particular animal, that is one-horned rhinoceros, we find in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. That completes your first one, that is the tropical evergreen forest. We come to the next forest, that is tropical deciduous forests. Now these forests have another name also. They are also called as monsoon forests. Why they are called as monsoon forest? Because wherever we receive the monsoons in our country, most of the regions, those regions are covered with these forests. These forests are found in between in the regions where the rainfall is between 70 centimeters to 200 centimeters. I am repeating, this kind of forest, that is tropical deciduous forests, are found in the regions where the rainfall is between 70 centimeters to 200 centimeters. Trees of this forest, they shed their leaves in a particular season. They have for about 6 to 8 weeks dry summer season. At that time they shed their leaves. All of them, they together shed their leaves in one particular dry season. So they are not evergreen. So that is why they have been given another name, tropical deciduous forest. On the basis of availability of water, these forests are further divided into two types of forests. So there are two types of tropical deciduous forests. They are called as moist and dry deciduous. That is, it depends upon the amount of rainfall. Depending on amount of rainfall, tropical deciduous forests are divided into two types of forests. They are moist deciduous forest and dry deciduous forests. Let us do moist deciduous forest are the forests which are found in the regions where rainfall is between 100 to 200 centimeters. These forests mostly found again in the eastern part of the country, in the eastern, some of the eastern states. They are also found in the foothills of the Himalayas, Jharkhand, west part of the Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and they are also found on the eastern slopes of Western Ghats. So moist deciduous forests found between 100 to 200 centimeters. They are found mainly in the foothills of Himalayas, in the Jharkhand, western part of Odisha and Chhattisgarh. They are also found on the eastern slopes of Western Ghats. Here we find a very important dominant species of the tree, that is teak. Other than teak, we also find the trees like bamboos, sal, shisham, sandalwood, etc. You need not have to learn all. You can learn any two examples. Okay, so most of these are commercially important trees. They are the base for many industries. So they become commercially important trees. Now, the second one, that is, we call it as the dry deciduous forests. Where do we find the dry deciduous forest, children? As per the name is, Dry deciduous forests are found in the regions where rainfall is between 70 centimeters to 100 centimeters. You can see that the rainfall has reduced here. In moist deciduous, it was from 100 to 200. In dry deciduous, it is 100 to 70 centimeters. These forests are found in the rainier parts of peninsular plateau. They are found in the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Here also you will find teak. Other than teak, you will find trees like sal, peepal, neem in these forests. A large part of these forests are cleared for cultivation, or some of the parts are used for the grazing purposes. So they are no more natural. But in the map work, when we see tropical deciduous forests, you will see that they have not given separately moist deciduous and dry deciduous. They have given together dry deciduous and the moist deciduous, which I will show you. Now, other than these trees, we have common animals which are found in these forests. Common animals in both these forests, we have lion, tiger, pig, deer, elephants. Other than that, we have large varieties of birds, lizards, snakes, etc. found in these forests. Now we'll see the map work, which regions we will see where these tropical deciduous forests are found. If you see this map, you will see again the color which you will see here is, you can see in the index, it's a little light green color, children, you will see. So most of the part, I can say that most of the part of the Deccan Plateau region, most of the part of the Deccan Plateau region, most of the part of the Central Highlands, you will see these kind of tropical deciduous forest. If a question asked to you that which type of vegetation is largely found in India, then your answer should be tropical deciduous forests. They are the monsoon forest. They are the forests. You can see all this region, this whole area. It's gone little out, not outside that, it's here. So the large area here, all this area which I am trying to show with this pencil. So all this region, you will see all this area, it is covered with your tropical deciduous forest, all this area. So that's why we say it is the large vegetation cover in our country. So that completes, children, your tropical deciduous forests. So we completed tropical evergreen forests and tropical deciduous forests. We come to the third type of forest. These are called as thorn forests and scrubs. The name itself tells where you find them. They are found in the regions where rainfall is less than 70 centimeters. That is mainly in the Rajasthan, Gujarat regions, especially the western part of these regions, where the rainfall is less than 70 centimeters. In such regions, you will find this kind of vegetation. Because here you find mainly thorny trees and bushes, children. Here you find mainly thorny trees and bushes. So where do you find these regions? Semi-arid areas of Gujarat. Semi-arid means semi-dry regions of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, dry regions of UP you will find here. Examples of the trees are the kind of vegetation you find here are acacias, palms, euphorbias, cacti, these kind of trees you find. And a very important feature I am telling you here these scrubs or shrubs, these are scattered. They are very much far away from each other because this is a dry area and the roots they require space to spread because the roots go deep into and they spread into different directions so that they can get the moisture. That is why automatically they are natural. So the trees here are scattered from one to other, and here the stems are thick because they absorb water and they keep that water with that. So the stems are thick. The leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize the evaporation because it's a dry area. That is why to minimize the evaporation, the leaves are thick and also very small. And we find a lot of scrubs which are short in height. Such kind of scrubs we find over here. And the animals we find here are rats, mice, rabbit, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses and camels mostly we find over here. So that completes your thorn forest and scrubs, children. In the next video, again I repeat the important points of these thorn forest and the scrubs. So that's all, children, for today. Have a good day.